Good evening, everyone. My name is Grace Petrie. I'll be facilitating this virtual Zoom. I'm just going to admit one more person. I'm a Senior Assistant Director of Admissions at HWS, so some of you have probably seen my emails to you guys. And if you have any questions for Tom throughout this, please feel free to put it in the chat to everyone, or you can direct message me, and I'll make sure to say it out loud so that if someone has the same question, they can be asked. But I'm just going to admit one more person. And then Tom, whenever you want to start.
Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. The main topic we're talking about tonight is going to be the 3+1 Master of Science in Management program. But I thought I would start off by introducing myself and then talk about what the undergraduate majors you're likely to want to know about as well. And then, I can answer questions about anything. Um, so I'm Tom Drennan. I've been at the colleges since 1996. So now I tell my students since before you were born, which is, well before they were born now. But I am the chair of the Business Management and Entrepreneurship program, and I am the director of the Master of Science in Management program. I'm also heavily involved in all the sustainability efforts on campus, which um, includes some cool things like we reached carbon neutrality last year, and we have 20 EV chargers on campus now, which I would challenge any other small school to have that many chargers. So I'm excited by some of those things as well, and happy to talk about all that. So, um, you know, the Master of Science in Management program is a 1-year degree, and it is not an MBA. So obviously an MBA is more, usually takes 2 years, and most places want students to have work experience before doing an MBA. So the Master of Science in Management program here and across the country are aimed really at giving people who come from the liberal arts environment the tools and skills they need to be successful in the business or nonprofit world and rise to the ranks of manager, to be good leaders of a program, etc. So we focus on those skills. You don't have to be an econ major or a business major to do it. We have students from across the discipline, which actually makes it a lot of fun. One of my favorite students last year actually had a bachelor's in philosophy, and it was just amazing how that elevated the discussions we had, because people come from very different backgrounds in that program, and we're focused on solving problems as a group, and so to have those different backgrounds, those different educational backgrounds, is really rewarding. So let me just back up a minute, because the way to get into the 3+1, first of all, of course, is to decide you want to come to Hobart and William Smith colleges. I love HWS. That's why I've stayed so long. And why do I love it? I only went to larger schools. I never went to a small school. I got my PhD at Cornell, my undergrad at MIT. And honestly, I did a guest lecture once at HWS, and I was surprised by how the students challenged me in the classroom. And I thought, this actually has never happened to me before. And I was like, this is an interesting place. And I ended up being there, and I've been there a long time, and I'm loving it. So, I love talking to students. I love getting to know my students. So first step is to get into HWS, of course, and decide you're going to come. Hopefully, you'll see you at the admitted student houses we have coming up, including this weekend, and I can talk to you more there. But then you have to decide, what are you going to major in? And really, the first year doesn't matter what you take. We're trying to get you to take courses across the curriculum to introduce you to things. But then if you really want to go into the world of business or finance, then we have a serious talk about which major is better for you. And, the options, if you're a business minded person, would be to do the business management and entrepreneurship major or the economics major. And we can talk much more about that. But what we've learned over the past few years is we see more and more students coming into HWS with a significant number of transfer credits from AP or IB or dual enrollment with community colleges. And so, in reality, a student needs 32 classes to graduate with an undergraduate degree. And if you come in with 4 or 5, it's actually pretty easy to finish up all the requirements in 3 years. And so, we realized there was a real opportunity that would appeal to a lot of parents and students that why not decide you're going to do the 3+1 program so that in 4 years you would graduate with both a bachelor's and a master of science in management for the same cost you would just doing an undergraduate degree. And so we have quite a bit of interest in it. This is the 4th year of our program, so we're still building the 3+1 part. We have a couple people a year right now, but I'm about to have about 5 people per year doing it. And they sit down with me in their sophomore year and fill out the application, but we actually fill out a grid of all their courses they've taken, what they still have to take. And if we accept them into the program as a sophomore, then they get elevated in registration status a year so they can register for the courses they need first. So they don't have to worry about getting into classes. And then, we make sure over the course of the junior year, they get all the rest of their courses for graduation done. And so that they're ready in the 4th year to enter our Master of Science in Management cohort. Um, our graduate program is limited to 25 students. We keep it fairly small. Students have to take 4 cores and 4 electives, and they have to do a bunch of career service related experiential field trips and um, um, skills courses in networking and resume writing and all that stuff. But we get that done in a year. They have to complete an internship, which we, of course, help them get. But the 25 become a cohort. They take the same classes. All the classes are downtown in our Bizzuto Center, which is off campus. And our students actually like that because they're in the community. So it doesn't quite feel like they're an undergrad still. And they're a cohort that does everything together. And we really push management and leadership skills in the program. I think one of the things I really enjoy myself is getting our students really comfortable with presenting. And so the way we do a lot of that is lots of case studies, throwing, real life cases at them from Google and other places, and then having them form a little consulting group to come up with solutions. And so their deliverable will be a recommendation to the board of Google or whatever company on here's how you're going to handle this situation. So we try to give them lots of real life experience with that. And but along the way, we're also getting them ready to enter the job market. So from day one, career services is part of our program. We have a full-time staff person who just works with them on resumes and LinkedIn and networking skills. And we have, like I said, these experiential field trips we do in the Finger Lakes to meet with businesses started by alums, then up in Rochester. They meet more local businesses, more alums. And our students also have a chance to go on trips to Boston with our career services program and network with alums there and see what's available there. So, it's a very quick year. It's amazing by this time in the spring, all of the students are busy applying for jobs, interviewing. We have a couple who have already accepted jobs. So it just really goes fast now. It's really a quick, intense year. But last year, over 90% of them were fully employed in the career that they wanted to be in within 3 months of graduating. One of one of those that wasn't decided he just wanted to play golf for a while. It's like, okay. But those who went after jobs, they found that they were very competitive in the job market. So we're proud of this program. We think it's a good deal for students. We think it's something that other schools don't offer, and we want to get the word out there that you know come to HWS and complete both degrees in 4 years, and put yourself in the best place you can be to get into the career you really want to do. So that's my basic spiel. That we want to make sure we had time for questions and happy to answer whatever about that or what wasn't clear, the
Yeah, so
courses or whatever. Yep.
thank you, Tom. We have three questions. So one is, how would this work with a student planning on engineering?
Okay, so the engineering program, that's a separate 3+2 program that we have students do. Students in year one need to be in a physics class and some others. But then in their junior year, if they're accepted into the program, they go off to Dartmouth for the year. Then they come back their senior year to complete HWS, and then they go back to Dartmouth in their fifth year, and then they end up with their liberal arts degree and their engineering degree from Dartmouth. So it's a really good program. You got to be highly motivated and directed from day one to be successful in that program. Um, but I certainly have had some students do it, and it's pretty impressive.
Awesome. Thank you, Tom. Two people are wondering, can you still study abroad with this program?
Absolutely. I go out of my way to make sure my students can all go abroad. I just spent the fall term in Australia myself with 30 students because I love our off-campus programs. So I was with students at the University of Queensland in Brisbane for the semester where they were taking classes and I was teaching a class where we did a lot of field work, including a week on an island in the Great Barrier Reef at a research station on Heron Island. It was truly amazing. But seriously, every student I advise, the first thing I ask them is, where do you want to be when you graduate? What's the goal? And some say I don't know, but some have pretty good ideas, and we work with that. But as part of that, I then talk to them about here's where you can go abroad. These are the programs that would work for you, where we know we can take classes and count them for classes you need at HWS. We have a lot of programs, but we know which ones are good for which majors. And so, it works pretty easily. Um, I just think it's so important to go abroad, just so important. It changes your life, gives you a whole new perspective. And we have programs virtually everywhere. I mean, what's the number now, Grace? What percent of our students go abroad? Is it
About
58?
70%.
70%. Okay. Well, yeah. So it just gets better. So yes, it's something our students really do. And for those who are athletes who find it hard to go during season, we have many 3-week programs either in the J term or in the right after commencement. I took students to Scotland a couple of years ago, for example, and that was pretty awesome too.
Awesome. Yeah, highly recommend studying abroad, guys. It's very popular here, and I did not get to because of COVID, so I always tell students to do it.
Sorry.
Um, Get to hear about all these fun things. So someone's wondering what kind of jobs are students getting with this degree?
Yes. The one of the people who just got a job is in she's working for a medical sales position outside Boston. It's actually an orthopedic. So, actually she wanted to be in sales. So she's doing, working with doctors' offices, etc., to show off the line of products that this company has, etc. That's what she wanted. We have people doing project management for all kinds of big firms, including Suffolk Construction in Boston, which is one of the biggest companies. We have people who go into real estate or real estate management under Bizzuto. We have people doing in the banking world, manager rotations, we try to get them into. Um, Ideally, I mean, right, manager training rotations are a really good thing because they show you all the different parts of a company. And so we have quite a few of those. Um, we have people working for renewable energy companies. We have people doing sustainability coordinators at higher in other schools. It's really all over the place. We really, again, I mean, our strength is with a liberal arts school, our students have a diverse range of skills that it's really they just need to work on their portfolio to show this is how I can help this company or nonprofit. And I could talk more about that, how we do that.
Thank you, Tom. People are wondering, if you don't bring in AP credits, IB credits, or dual enrollment, are they still allowed for to be in this program?
It would be hard. I mean, I had that conversation with someone today, who just had one AP credit. And, I'm honest. It's like, okay, so here's what you'd have to do. You'd have to take, instead of 8 courses a year, you'd have to do 10. And then you can take, a course during January. You can take one in May. You can do summer courses. They don't have to be at HWS. You can do a couple courses at a local community college or online through many of the universities. But somehow you got to come up with 32 credits. And so, if somebody's really motivated, like I thought this student today, he's a first year. And he was pushing me because he's like, yeah, I want to do this. So what do I have to do? And we laid it out. So, now it's on him, but we can give him that path.
Awesome. Thank you. Someone's wondering, is the major internship year junior year or any year?
So for the master's program, we like to have you do the internship in the summer before you start the master's or during the year. Um, because obviously you want to be in the job market at the end of the year. So, we have positions here in Geneva that we have some through the colleges that we can do during the school year. But we also work with students to find internships in the summer before they start the program. But we make sure everyone has one way or the other.
Awesome. Yeah, we do guarantee an internship, and a stipend up to 3 grand. Just letting everyone know on this program if you do the Pathways program, which I could talk about more if you're interested. The next question is, are you able to be in this program right away, and what's the process to do so?
You can talk to me in year one. In fact, I prefer it. And then we just talk about what kind of classes you should be taking, etc. But again, that first year, we really, we want you to experiment a little, because, we have a wide range of classes that you wouldn't have thought of, that weren't offered in high school. So we want you to experiment some. Um, but then, sophomore year, get serious about it, declare for your major as soon as you can. And then right now, this time of year in the sophomore year is when I'm having the students actually write out their proposal for all the courses they're going to take and when. So right now is when we're doing it with the current sophomores.
Awesome. So speaking of courses, someone's wondering, is there any major you specifically have to have for undergrad for this program?
You need one principles of economics course, which you can take either in the management program, the undergraduate business management program, or in the econ department, or you can take students who don't have it. We have them take a course in the summer before they start the program. But one that's the prereq. You got to have one econ course.
Awesome. Someone's asking, which pertains to me, so how you access this recording to share with other people or other recordings of virtual sessions. We do have a YouTube playlist, and I will get that link and send it in this chat. It takes about a week to 2 weeks though for these to upload, just to let everyone know. But a question for Tom, is there a lot of work with local businesses?
Yes, yes. No, it's very exciting. We've built a lot of good connections. We actually even have some alums in the area who are really Happy to have our students on their teams. Um, we have so many local wineries that are very good sources for our students to work at. Um, um, we actually have had, I can think of three students who've worked at the local bank, and two of them are now full time there. So yeah, there's definitely opportunities.
Awesome. And then another question is, how well do you work with your students and know them?
Oh, I get to know my students really well, and it's at a small school like HWS. Um, man, I get to know my students really well, and that's pluses and negatives of that. If somebody's not in class, I notice. I tend to um, I'm known for calling people out on that. Not a lot of people miss my classes, but I notice I don't like even take attendance after the first week or two. It's not mandatory, but I know. And if you're not there, um, um, I'll wonder why. But more importantly, I try to get students to come into my office and talk with me. I like to get to know my students when we do that advising, I get to know, details about you. I actually go to several of the sporting events because I like to see the teams play. I like to know what my students are doing off time. I hire students as researchers, on and on and on. I mean, that's I'm all in on HWS. We have to do research and to get tenure to college, you have to publish. We don't have graduate students except these master students. So we rely heavily on our undergrads in across the departments to help with research. And so yes, we get to know them quite well.
That's awesome. And to go off that question, can you explain one relationship you've had with a student that shows our relationship rich motto that all these parents and students have heard about?
Absolutely. Well, I think the example I'd use this year, I have his name is Finn Foley, and he's a member of the Hobart football team. And he first took a course with me spring of his junior year, so 1 year ago now. And in that course, um, a light bulb just went off in his head. He got very excited about what I was teaching them, which was about electricity and oil and natural gas markets, which is not for everyone. But all of a sudden, it just he just got gung ho about it, and so he worked with me all summer. Um, because I have a bunch of consulting projects that he was able to help me with, and then I actually sent him to the climate negotiations in Azerbaijan in November for a week because we have funding from an alum to send students to be observers at the United Nations climate negotiations every year. And he's doing an honors project with me that involves that and furthering our campus carbon neutrality goals. Right now, we get about 50% of our power from two solar farms that we developed. And his task is to come up with uh, options for the other 50%. So we're evaluating other clean energy projects that we could buy into. And but the really cool thing about it is Finn now has been hired by Constellation Energy, which is one of the largest energy firms in the United States. And he's on their project origination team. And to get that job, I mean, he had to compete against a lot of people, but he was told that his knowledge blew them away, that he knew that kind of stuff as an undergrad. And that was because he had worked with me throughout the past year. It's only been a year. Um, but we do a lot together. A lot of stories like that.
I know. I love those stories. So
Yeah.
you guys will hear a ton of those stories. Relationship rich completely, as Tom said. Tom, the last question is for the econ credit. Do you accept transfer credits? Someone's taking ECN 203 through Syracuse University.
Is so we I mean, they all have to be evaluated. So, they get sent to the deans the deans get them and then they send them out to the department chairs to review. Um, and we fit, we can figure out whether it's equivalent to a core course here or whether we can count it as an elective. But as long as it's in the economic or management track, then it will fit somewhere.
Awesome. Well, that is all the questions we have. To everyone here, I did want to say congratulations on being admitted. It's a very, very exciting time. I hope to see some of you at our ASDs, as Tom was mentioning. We have this Saturday, and then we have April 12th and April 26th as well. It's pretty amazing because you do sample classes. We have an academic expo. I'm going to put in the chat right now the link to all the virtual sessions. So this one will also be up there in case you have friends or family members who want to watch it, and all the ones that we've done before. But Tom and I will hang out here in case anyone has any other questions. But if
Mhm.
not, I hope you guys all have a great night. And I'll put my email as well in case anyone has admissions questions or has questions after this, and I can send them to Tom and connect you guys. So, yeah. All right. Awesome. Well, everyone have a good night. And again, if you have any more questions, feel free to stay.
Yes. Thank you all. I will actually be at every one of those sessions and I'm doing a sample class at all of them. So you could sit in a sample class and see what it's really like.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Yes. Thank
Pleasure.
you. All right. Someone asked, what classes can we go to see this Saturday specifically for this program?
It's the class is called Evaluating a Startup. Um, the startup we look at is called Dog Spot, so that was in the title somewhere. Yeah, you can sign up for that class when you get there and introduce yourself, and yeah.
Yep. Highly recommend if you're coming this Saturday, that you come around 8:30 because it starts at 9, so then you can pick your sample class and you get first choice. And then one more question, Tom. Do you have any examples of how this would work with a biology major?
Yes, I mean, I would love to have a biology student do it. They would have to, again, get through all the bio courses, so that would have to be pretty well planned out. But it would be, you know, it's again, I really enjoy having students from other disciplines. I think it adds value. So yes, we've been trying to get more bio students interested in entrepreneurship and management in general because it's something they can really use to further their career. So yeah, I would totally welcome that conversation. I know everyone in the bio department, we could work on it.
Yeah. Biology is great here too, because as you can see my background, the Great Finger Lakes, right? Seneca Lake, it's the biggest and deepest finger lake. And then one more question, Tom. Have any of your students gotten jobs as or related to high ticket deal closing?
High ticket deal closing. Probably, but nothing's coming to me. How's that? That's a very specific question. Hmm. Yeah, no one's coming to me on that one.
No worries. You deal with a lot of people,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
quite amazing. Well, that's all the questions I think we have. But like I said, Tom and I will stay here for a few more minutes. If any has questions about even admissions, I'm happy to help in any way. So awesome. Well, if not, have a great night, guys. Do you have to apply to the program? You had mentioned a cap of 25 students.
So that's in your sophomore year. We would, if we accept you in your sophomore year, you're locked in. So yes, that's the way in.
Awesome. And then someone said, "Can I be the first?" I love that.
Sure. I'll write you down. No, just kidding. Yeah.
No, it's a pretty awesome program, guys. I've been here for about 3 years now at HWS, originally from Long Island, New York. So, I definitely could talk about HWS for a long time about how much of, of a great college it is. How many students apply a year?
Um, I think about 50.
Wow. Um, any advice to become a competitive applicant for this program?
Yeah, talk to me. I mean, honestly, it's if I know the person and they have a strong GPA, then I tell them Yes, of course we're going to take you. I mean, we have an admissions committee, but if I know you and I know that it's the right fit for you, then yes. Sometimes people come to me that I know, and I'm like, I actually don't think this is the right program for you. Here's why. I think you should go work first. It so depends on the person, and I'm not going to lie to someone. It's like, I mean, I've told a couple people that. I'm like, nope, you need to move on and do something else. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I like it though. I like that our professors are very honest with you guys. They don't just,
I am.
so I like that. I like that a lot.
Students actually dread having me in presentations because I am very direct and um, yeah, I have high expectations and they know if I'm not happy. And often it's funny, I don't even have to say anything. They can just tell from my face. That's the funniest part. I've learned that I would not be a good poker player.
I love that.
Yeah.
Um, is this program fit for someone interested in public health?
Yes, we would love that because somebody in public health, there's all kinds of quantitative skills you'd need to think about management is and um, I used to actually teach a course in healthcare economics. I wish I could do that all the time because I think that is so important. Um, and so what I would do for someone in public health one of the big changes we're making next year is students are going to start having to do a whole semester capstone experience. And so if somebody told me they were interested in public health, I'd have them do all the core courses. But in the spring, under my direction, they would undertake a project that demonstrated their skills on, whatever area they were interested in. And we'd make sure it was, data rich, analysis rich, and really good quality materials so that they could highlight their skills. Um, yeah, I would love to have someone interested in public health.
That's awesome. Someone who just joined is just wondering if this program is compatible with playing a fall sport, and or a semester abroad.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, what, 40 something percent of our students are athletes,
Mhm.
student athletes. And um, I mean, name a team. I know the coach, for good or for better or for worse. Because if a student's not performing, I let the coach know. We have a good relationship that way. But yes, we make it work. We make it work. I mean, lacrosse is the hardest one because it's D1 and they have like 27 hours a week of practice. I mean, it's ridiculous. Um, Hopefully none of you are lacrosse players, but I mean, it still happens, right? But yes, that's part of the HWS culture for sure.
Yeah.
Semester abroad, yes, everyone should go abroad. So many great programs, and I would definitely figure out which one made the most sense for whatever student came to my door.
That's awesome. Yeah. And just to piggyback off what Tom was saying about athletes, we 100% don't penalize you for being an athlete, right? We try to help you every way we can. So I really do like that about HWS as well, as we really push you to do certain things. And then someone's wondering, is this program good for an econ major?
It depends on what the person wants to do. It really does. And that's again where I have one of those conversations. It's like, what are you trying to do? If you're an econ major, what was the goal? Econ itself is more of a theoretical major, so sometimes it's good for the students to get some of the softer skills that they haven't gotten in econ. I taught in econ for many years, so I know econ really well. Um, our courses are all really applied and hands-on. And again, econ, a lot of theory, a lot of math. So again, I would have to talk to that person and decide with them, is it the right program for them, or should they go to an econ program, etc. If they want to do finance, it's probably not the route. And I would steer them in the right direction.
This person's interested in investment banking. I don't know if that helps.
Yeah, so if they're interested in investment banking, that's something important to know right up front is that you need to be econ, maybe econ math, but definitely econ. And you need to let people know in year one because there's a certain sequence of courses and things you need to do that all lead up to in your sophomore year over January break, you need to go on one of our career treks to New York City. And it has to be then. It's gotten earlier every year, um, but you have to do it in your sophomore year. We take students to 16 or 18 different big name firms in New York City, and then we do it in Boston. But they meet with alums, they learn about the process, but you have to have an internship. You have to apply for an internship in fall of your junior year, so you have it in summer of your, right before your senior year. That's the pathway into investment banking, and it just has to be that way. And so, yeah, staying for the master's program doesn't make sense. You want to dig into econ, have as much data analysis, analytics courses or math that you can get, and make sure you're working with career services to get on that path. Because it's a very competitive one, but we have a really strong track record. I mean, we have so many alums at JP Morgan and Fidelity and Goldman Sachs and on and on and on. But a lot of that is networking.
Yes, for sure. Networking is a big thing for business. Um,
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, well, I think that's all the questions. Again, though, we'll hang out for a few minutes if any of you have any other questions. Happy to answer them.
Thank you very much.
Of
Yep.
course.
Thank you
Thank you
for
guys
coming.
for joining.
Yep.
Thank you guys very much.
Of course.
Absolutely. Nice to meet you.
Good night.
Okay.
Good
Nice.
night.
Will you be at admitted students this weekend?
I will.
Okay, my son is at soccer training right now, but he
Okay.
will be there. Him and my husband will be there this weekend, so he'll
Is,
take a look for you guys.
is he going to play soccer here?
He is. I was the one that asked the question about the fall
Okay.
sports.
Yeah, and I mean, I have a really good relationship with that coach, and we've had a couple of grad students from him that he's brought in.
He's actually the one that mentioned the program
Yep.
to us.
Yep. No, we have a really good working relationship.
Awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
No,
Well,
it's some great team members. So yeah, it's fun.
okay, wonderful. Yeah, they'll look out for you.
Okay.
On
So I'm doing the
Saturday.
class, but there's also we do the sample classes, but then there's also an academic fair, and I'll be at a table and
Okay.
talk to me either way.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. Have a great night.
Thanks.
Hey, you too.
Okay.
Someone's asking if they can see the athletic facilities on Saturday. Um, Probably not. I think to see athletic facilities, you have to reach out to the coach. You can try to reach out to admissions and see what they say, but for the most part, we do residence hall tours and normal tours.
You can wander into the field house.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can do that
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. You can wander into some of the buildings, but yeah.
Cool. Well, I think that's all the questions. We'll hang out for another minute in case you guys have any others. And then also, I'll just put my email for people who came in late in case you guys have questions. Let's see. Can you do this program as an international student?
Yes. The only reason I'm hesitating is the financial aid is a bit more difficult. So it really depends where you're from. But yes, it's been approved by the federal government for international students so they can get their visa, they can do the program. It's just, how to work out the financial aid. Yeah.
Awesome.
No
then
problem if you want to pay full.
Yeah. And then for whoever asked that, I'll keep it anonymous, but Tom, do you mind if I just put your email in the chat?
Yeah, that's fine, of course.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely.
I should have done some beginning, but that's okay. And then to answer someone else's question, Mid Students Day is this Saturday, March 8th. We also have April 12th and April 26th, and then we're done with Mid Student Days because they're due May 1st. So awesome. Okay, cool. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you, Tom, for your time tonight.
Absolutely.
And this will be recorded, like I said, and it'll be put up in a week or two. So I
Okay.
hope everyone has a great night, though.
Yeah. We'll see you Saturday.
Yeah, see you Saturday. Bye, everyone.
Bye.